Hey there and welcome to another mindful episode of Bipolar Talks, your space to pause, reflect, and explore mental health with honesty, empathy, and heart. Today we're diving into something that many of us overlook in our everyday lives: tiny habits that quietly feed depression, and what you can do about them. Now, these aren't the big life events we usually blame for our sadness. These are subtle behaviors, unnoticed thoughts, and emotional habits that build up over time. And when they do, they can make us feel like we're drowning, even when everything on the surface seems fine. If you find this episode helpful, take a moment right now to like, comment, subscribe, and share it with someone who might be struggling silently. A small action from you could be a big light for someone else. All right, take a deep breath, get comfy, and let's get into it mindfully. Why do I feel depressed when my life looks okay? A surprising number of people experiencing depression say things like, "My life is fine, I have no reason to feel this way, but I just don't feel happy anymore." If that's you, you're not alone. And you're not broken. What might be happening is this: your brain and body are quietly overwhelmed by tiny stressors. Little habits, repeated often, can slowly flip your emotional circuit from, "I can handle this," to "I give up." You don't notice it right away, but the heaviness grows. Have you ever wondered why your energy feels so low, even when nothing's wrong? Let's keep going. You might hear something that clicks. Losing joy starts with downplaying the good. Depression often doesn't feel like sadness. It feels like a lack of joy, a numbness. This can happen when we subconsciously start rejecting good things before they can even reach us. You might dismiss a compliment by saying, "They didn't mean it." Or downplay your success. "I passed the test, but anyone could have." Bit by bit, you train your brain to ignore the beautiful parts of life. This isn't about being humble. It's about self-protection that goes too far. When was the last time you allowed yourself to feel proud? Let's explore how you can start welcoming the good again. When you're your harshest critic, ever made a mistake and instantly told yourself, "I'm so stupid," or "Why do I always mess things up?" That voice might feel familiar. Maybe you think it motivates you, but in reality it tears you down. Self-criticism creates shame, and shame is paralyzing. Compassion, on the other hand, is what gives us the strength to grow. The research backs it up. Self-kindness actually leads to better outcomes in the long run. What if you gave yourself permission to talk like a friend talks to you? What would that sound like? Feeling bad about feeling bad. Depression isn't just sadness. It's often followed by guilt or shame about feeling sad in the first place. We start believing that emotions like anxiety, grief, or overwhelm make us weak. You might hear yourself say things like, "I shouldn't feel this way," or "Other people have it worse." But feelings aren't moral. They're not bad or good. They just are. And judging yourself for having them only makes them heavier. Can you try letting your emotions simply exist today, without adding a second layer of judgment? The quiet pull of social withdrawal. It starts small. You skip plans once or twice. You don't reply to a message. You convince yourself, "They wouldn't want me there anyway." And slowly you retreat from your community. Depression loves isolation. It convinces you that pulling away will protect you, but it actually deepens the loneliness. Even brief moments of connection, saying hi, sending a meme, replying to a text, can begin to break the pattern. Is there someone you can gently reach out to today, even if it's just with a heart emoji? Distraction isn't the same as healing. When life feels overwhelming, we often turn to distractions. Social media, snacks, streaming, or overworking. They become coping tools. They help us avoid the hard stuff. But the hard stuff doesn't go away. It just gets quieter and heavier. This habit often begins in childhood. Maybe we were told to toughen up or stop crying, so we learn to numb ourselves instead of express ourselves. But now as adults, we can learn new skills that help us face, feel, and heal. What's one emotion you've been avoiding lately? Could you pause long enough to name it today? Overthinking isn't problem solving. Rumination is when your brain plays the same painful thoughts on repeat. Why did I do that? What if things had gone differently? It feels like you're trying to fix something, but you're really just getting stuck in it. This habit keeps you spinning in place, and your brain mistakes it for progress. But real healing requires stepping out of the loop. Is there a thought you've been looping through? Could you give yourself permission to step out of it today? Even for a minute? The basics matter more than you think. When we're overwhelmed, we tend to neglect the basics: sleep, food, hydration, movement. And yet, these are the very things that hold our mental health together. You'd be amazed how many people don't realize they're sleep-deprived or starving for real rest. It's not about being lazy, it's about survival mode. And you can't thrive in survival mode. How have you been sleeping lately? Have you eaten something nourishing today? Maybe that's where your healing starts. Waiting for motivation can be a trap. You might think, I'll go for a walk when I feel better, or I'll call my friend when I'm in the mood. But here's the truth. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. Even one small step, opening the curtains, brushing your teeth, putting on real clothes, can begin to shift your emotional state. The smallest actions still count. What's one micro step you can take today? Even if you don't feel like it. Feelings aren't facts. If I feel worthless, I must be worthless. That's emotional reasoning, and it's one of depression's sneakiest tricks. But feelings are not truths. They're just signals. You can feel sad without your life being meaningless. You can feel anxious and still be brave. This awareness creates space between emotion and identity. What feeling are you carrying today? And what would it mean to remind yourself that it's just a feeling, not your full reality? All or nothing thinking freezes progress. If I can't do everything, I'll do nothing. Sound familiar? This type of thinking paralyzes us. It keeps us from starting small, from celebrating progress, from making any move at all. But doing 10% is always better than doing 0%. Washing one plate is better than none. Writing one sentence is better than staring at the blank page. What's one imperfect action you could take today just to keep moving? Letting go of victim and fixed mindsets. Depression thrives when we feel powerless. When we say, I can't change, that's just how I am. We box ourselves in. But there's another way, the growth mindset. Instead of thinking, I'll always feel like this, try, I haven't found what helps me yet. That single word, yet, holds the door open for hope. What would it look like to believe, even just a little, that things could change for the better? One small shift can begin to lift the fog. All of these tiny habits might feel harmless on their own, but together over time they create a fog, a heaviness, a sense of giving up. But here's the good news. Every small shift matters. You don't need a full life overhaul. You just need one gentle change at a time. Speak kindly to yourself. Pause the overthinking. Drink some water. Take a step. You are allowed to heal slowly. Thank you for joining us today on Bipolar Talks. If this resonated with you, please take a moment to like, comment below, share this with someone who might need it, and subscribe to stay connected. And remember, this video is for informational purposes only and not a substitute for professional mental health care. Always consult a licensed expert. Until next time, be kind to your mind, listen gently to your heart, and know that even your tiniest steps forward are worth celebrating.